ago, I didn't know that was in the Bible. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. It's going to be, instead of a Bible lesson, just a short discussion, which we could label apologetics. Now, Mary is one of the bones of contention that seems to divide the Protestants from the Catholics. And a lot of it is based upon, again, misconceptions. And we're going to examine at least 3 of these because I find it's extremely important, especially in this time of chaos that we're going through right now, that we do not stay divided, but instead stay united. Because we have a greater enemy out there, who is Satan. And so really we need all Christians to be united to fight against that one common enemy. So let's begin with looking at the truth about Mary. Now, one of the things that is a misconception is the fact that Catholics idolize Mary, that we put her on the same pedestal as Jesus, as God, and as the Holy Spirit. And indeed, that is not true. Again, we do not worship Mary, but we honor Mary. And there is a big difference in that. And so let me go ahead, and I'm just going to, the only reading I'm going to be doing from today is going to be from the Catechism of the Catholic Church. And this is probably one of the books that is really, should be read by all Catholics, because it really lays out what the religion is all about. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't. So I will have to say that there are some Catholics out there that maybe drives along this concept that we idolize Mary as we do God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And indeed that is incorrect, because if we look at the actual Catechism of the Catholic Church, it does teach something different. So let me go ahead and read from the area that has to do with the devotion to the Blessed Virgin. And it's listed under 971 in the Catechism of the Catholic Church. And I'm just going to pull out just a couple lines. And it starts off by saying that the church devotion to the Blessed Virgin is intrinsic to Christian worship. The church rightly honors the Blessed Virgin with special devotion. And again, I put emphasis on the word rightly honors. It doesn't say that we worship, but we do honor. Now, just dropping down a few sentences below that, it says that this very special devotion differs essentially from the adoration which is given to the incarnate Word and equally to the Father and the Holy Spirit, and greatly fosters this adoration. So you can see right off that this whole concept that we look at Mary in equal status to God and to Jesus and the Holy Spirit is not what the Catholic Church teaches. In fact, it just asks that we honor. Now, what is wrong with honoring? Well, we honor our mother and father, don't we? And I'm sure that Jesus would want us to honor his mother as well. People go as far as honoring people with awards, like the Academy Awards or Sport Awards. And there are people out there that have pictures of baseball players and football players and stuff that are up. They're not worshiping, at least I hope they're not. But in the same extent, we would say that they do honor them in that particular way. Now, the next misconception that we have regarding Mary has to do with images. Having images of her in the church or images of her in our home. Well, we have pictures of our mothers and fathers. We have pictures, again, as I've talked about, of sports figures. We also have images of our pets. Again, it just brings up a memory regarding them in terms of the fact that they were either someone that we had looked up to at a certain time, somebody that brings fond memories, that helps remind us of better times, So those images are not the same sort of images that were sacrificed to as we see in the Old Testament. So again, the images, which seems to be, again, a bone of contention between our Protestant brothers and sisters and ourselves, really truly do not exist. It's just a matter of the way you look at it. Another thing has to do with intercession. Now, having a saint or having Mary particularly intercede for us, that is not really anything new. In fact, if you look at the way, the structure of the Jewish people in their government during the time, especially look during the time of King David and King Solomon, it was always the Queen Mother who was the one that would intercede to the king for the people. So this concept is really nothing new. So they would go to the Queen Mother and ask for a favor, and the Queen Mother would then intercede and talk to the king in order for it to be granted. So intercession, again, is nothing that takes away from both God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And then finally, the idea of the Immaculate Conception. When priests went to enter the temple, they always cleansed themselves. In fact, it was always important to be cleansed when you came in the presence of anything holy. Now, Mary was carrying God. He was carrying Jesus in her womb. So it only seemed appropriate that that vessel would be clean, because obviously you wouldn't want a dirty vessel to be in the presence of God. And so that was the whole purpose of this Immaculate Conception. So taking all four of these in mind and looking at them from this perspective, having to do again with the idea of Mary being some sort of idol to the Catholics, which she is not, she is only being honored, that the statues and stuff are just representations or reminders, and that intercession to Mary as well as to the saints is nothing that is really totally uncommon. It doesn't take anything away from God. And you take all of that together and you really realize that the differences are just, well, something put there by Satan in order to keep us divided so we're weaker and cannot really stand up to his evil forces. So I think it's extremely important that we get by all that, and that instead we become united as Christians and fight against what is a common enemy, which is Satan himself, who, at least at this moment in time, seems to be gaining a lot of ground. So anyway, that's my little talk for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you can please give it a thumbs up, and I would appreciate that. Also, if you're interested, subscribe, which costs nothing. Ring that notification bell, let you know when there's a new video up. And again, I want to thank you again for you tuning in as you do. I really do appreciate that. I hope our numbers grow. But in the meantime, I wish you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you.